What's going on, everybody? This is Clark Beckham. I'm your host, and this is the Idol Breakdown. Let's go. Soft and sincere. First things first, I have a complete lip to talk to you with, so that's nice. First up is Caroline Cole. She sings a Katy Perry song, and Katy says something that I've heard her say before. She says, "Don't sing it better than me, girl." Joking? Question mark? I wonder how much of that is real and how much of that is a joke. Because there was a contestant who sang Harley's in Hawaii, and I can't remember her name right now. Please tell me in the comments. I'm sure you will. And she sang Harley's in Hawaii on piano, and it was stupid good, scary, terrifyingly good, and jazzy and soulful and gospel and everything. And she said the same thing, and then we didn't see that girl very long. I don't think that Katy thinks of Caroline as a threat to her or anything like that, but she says that sometimes, and I'm like, I wonder how much of that is honest and not a joke. Great tone, a natural, likable person. When that likability, that charisma comes across so naturally, it's not something that you can fake or put on. People ask me about that when they ask me about Ryan Seacrest. Like, what's he really like? Someone who's that naturally likable and charismatic, that's just them all the time. They can't fake that. Vocally, I think she's good. I think she has a little bit more to go in the power department, but I'm into it. She's likable, she sounds good, knows how to perform. Oh, almost forgot. This is another top 24 prediction from one of the judges. I'm keeping a tab. Right now, we have Michael Williams. Katy says he's going to be top 10, potentially. And Katy also said Caroline Cole could be top 24 with a question mark. She wasn't like super confident in it, but she said it. John Wayne Hatfield. This episode, I think I had more tears in this episode than any other episode ever. John Wayne brings his grandfather who raised him, Ray. What a sweet man. Immediately, I just melt just looking at him. Ray, with a fascinating story, loses his wife, and then after that comes out as gay, which is super interesting to me. The main thing I relate to is how Ray said, I was afraid to tell John because I was afraid of how he would look at me, more or less, or if he would still be close to me. And that is a real thing. I have one of my best friends came out to me and was the same way, was terrified that because of my beliefs that I would not accept him and not be cool with him and not be his friend. Nothing could be further from the truth. If anything, we're going to be closer to you now. And there's a beautiful, such a unique, dynamic relationship story that I loved. And on top of that, he sings really, really good. The guitar sounded awesome. Luke Bryan said that from the first note, they could tell that he was a beast. And that is such a real thing. When someone just, their stance, like just how they hold themselves and how they play the first note, you can tell when a storm's coming in a good way. His guitar was in, I thought it was in drop D. It was actually in drop D flat. Typically the lowest note on a guitar is an E. But he had it in drop D, which is taking it, which gives this like, this big rich, and then he had it actually a half step down lower than that. So that's why his guitar sounded so deep and rich, and then his voice matched it. Big fan. Has a really nice mixed voice up in the chorus, and I knew, very centered and compressed. I knew, not real big and blown out. And then the help brought the beef, the chest, raspy, just meaty stuff. So he can do both. Lionel says something that I say with such gusto when people ask me about American Idol. Lionel says, this is not a singing competition. This is, let me get this right. This is a career finding artist competition. Could he have chosen better words? Yes, but the sentiment is true. That's why American Idol has like over 500 number ones and 1,000 Grammys or some ridiculous thing when it comes to American Idol contestants. And all of the other shows combined have like 1 or 2 Grammys and 0 number ones. I mean, it's not even close. It's because American Idol is not looking for someone that's going to make a great show first. They're first looking for someone who's going to legitimately be the next big artist. Ashley Tankard. This girl is so sweet and authentic, and she's tried out 15 times, give or take. There are more people than you would think that do this, that audition multiple times per season for years. And she gives hope to the people that do that. And I'm kind of surprised it took her this long because she sounds great. I love her tone. You can tell she is absolutely in love with singing, in love with melody and tone, and you can just tell that, and it influences the way that she sings and how good she sounds. You kind of tap into that juice, that X factor, when you just deeply fall in love with the music that you're singing, the melody, the vowels of the words, every single element of it, and she does that. She does something here called a glottal stop quite a bit. It's kind of like a yodel is a glottal stop, but in pop music you'll hear it like stuff like that, where it's just this little kind of crack, and she does it a lot in the chorus and in her like upper range, which can be super effective. It can almost sound like they're crying, and it's emotional, and it can be beautiful, and it was for her most of the time. But if you do it too much, where you have to put your voice to make that happen, if you do a glottal stop here and then one right after, this space in the middle, a lot of times if you're not careful, will sound unsupported and like you don't have the power, and you're cracking, and you all of a sudden, instead of style and emotion, it sounds like, uh-oh, is she falling apart? So that's something that is easily fixed. But I'm a fan of hers. Cody Winkler. This was just a great experience for me to watch. His dad was like, do your best, keep God in your head. Which is great advice. I think I might get that as a tattoo. And then they say, how you doing? He said, finer than frog's hair. I've never heard that before, personally. Maybe it's because I'm not deep enough into the South. He's got a classic George Strait era country voice. I enjoy him. I don't think he's got the wheels to really do this race. I almost said run this race, which you don't need wheels to run. And the judges agree. I actually liked how the judges played with him a little bit here. They gave him a lot of time that they didn't have to give. They could have just heard him say no thanks and laugh and dance and that thing. But instead, Luke Bryan got his guitar, started playing and singing with them. And the guy's a character. He's a great time. And I could tell he really wanted it, which hurt my heart. But he had a fantastic attitude toward the whole thing. And I thought this was a bright moment in the episode. By the way, Luke Bryan is a low-key beast. Personally, when I listen to his music on the radio or just his released music, there's nothing in me that's like, wow, what a great voice. But when I hear him messing around or sing live, I'm like, wait a minute, this guy's really good. Matt Wilson, this guy almost had me screaming in the airport. Aside, the reason you might be seeing some videos of me in the airport, Chanley and I, our flight got canceled. We were supposed to get back in last night at like 6 p.m. And instead we got home like 3 hours ago, which is around 1 p.m. Monday. And so I watched most of the episode in the airport. Matt almost had me screaming in the airport. This is what's so great about Matt. I can tell the dude can run a marathon. He can run wherever he wants to, vocally. And he chose instead to sing, instead of singing 8 notes quickly and correctly, he chose to sing 3 notes with conviction. Really works as like a 1-2 punch combination. and was really effective. This guy, I can't imagine him putting this on. The just good guy, loves children, sweet to his wife guy. Like, he seems so real, and to sing that way and to be that way, what a home run. Caitlin Hedge, woohoo! Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have officially the best singer of the season to date. She started singing, excuse me, I just remembered that she's 15, and I know that's overdone. People are like, wow, and I can't believe you're only 15, but yo. And that came at the end for me. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. She started singing, and I immediately thought of Katharine McPhee's audition, which was my all-time favorite audition. She has all of the stuff. She's got range, she's got runs, she's got tone, and she's got taste. She knows where to put all of those things, and she's 15. Oh my gosh, she's 15. To have that power and technique at 15 is hysterical. Oh, and then her freaking dad, man. If there's one thing that will make me cry, it gets me emotionally, is when soldiers are coming home to their family. Whew. Oh my gosh. When I was working in an acting class on how to cry, I would look up YouTube videos before the scene of just compilations of soldiers surprising their children and family and wives. I was a mess at the B terminal of LAX. She's incredible, best singer so far. Aiden Adair. Aiden is very, very, very nervous. He's a younger guy, cool personality, seems like a cool dude that you'd want to be friends with. They said that he came in at a 4, they gave him a couple notes, and then it turned him to an 8. Luke said that he had 5 years of progress in like 5 minutes. I wish that were true, because I think the guy's cool. And I think he's got a voice. I think he went from a 4 to a 4.2. He just moved a little more. He got a little more, a little less nervous, so that's gonna help. But this storyline of him just being average, and then they give him a couple notes, and now he's just this incredible singer. I didn't get that personally, and I don't think he's got the vocal ability to really run this race, unfortunately. He got a yes, and he's going through. If I was judge, I would have said no. Jared Yunt. All we know about him is that he makes diapers. Does he sing? I don't know. He's got a guitar. Does he play it? I don't know. We didn't see him. All we saw was him explaining that he makes diapers just so the judges could do this big, dumb diaper gimmick. I'll never get that time back in my life. Now, as I'm making fun of this in my head and writing notes, this is the stupidest gimmick and waste of time. Chanley's next to me cracking up and laughing it up. So it's just to say, remember, everything I say here is my opinion. Doesn't mean it's right. I thought the gimmick was dumb. Chanley loved it. You guys probably loved it. But poor Jared, all we know of him is that he freaking makes diapers. So Jared, if you're watching this, good luck in your diaper career. Michaela Stacy. This is Phil Stacy, who was 6th place on season 6. This is his daughter. Phil actually went to the same college as I did, and Phil called me before I went on Idol when I knew I'd made it through to Hollywood. He actually called me and gave me some tips and just talked me through things and was super cool with me. So it's really cool to see his daughter on the show. Funny enough, Michaela was actually born during Phil's audition. And I'm watching this with Chanley in the airport. We've got a little headphone splitter action going. And he mentions that he missed the birth of his second child for the audition. And Chanley just looked over at me, and if looks were worth 1,000 words, which they are, it was basically like, if you ever do anything to miss the birth of any number of children, things are going to get tough for you. That was a moment that we had in our marriage watching American Idol, which, you know, I agree with. Oh my gosh, freaking birth to my child, whatever. He made it through and it all worked out, and fate and all this stuff. Michaela, she's great. She's got all the stuff. She's not, I think if she was on a different episode, we'd be talking about her differently. But honestly, because she was right up next to another girl who is a monster and has a lot of similarities in the elements of their singing, it's tough for me because I just kept thinking about Kaylin. Now, she killed it, and the Toughen Up run was nasty. But I did notice the judges were super direct with her, and I think that's because they know her dad grew up in the business and she can take it, which I appreciate, and as a dad, I would very much appreciate. Lionel said, don't lose character. That's so important. Talking about Katharine McPhee again, she was known for singing these sad songs and then smiling while she was singing it because she was killing it. Make sure when you're singing, Lionel brings up a great point, not to lose your character. Don't be excited that you just nailed a note and let us see that. Stay in it. She goes through, totally should. Super interested to see how she does because she's someone who could really elevate herself with more songs and show her stamina in the competition because she has such a range and a lot of the tools it takes to be an American Idol contestant. Then we have a flurry of auditioners. We have Stefan Benz, Jefferson, which is a homie of mine. I didn't even know he was on the season. We had lunch maybe like 6 months ago. Super nice guy and a monster, as you can tell. And then Alessandra. I wish I would have heard more of them. Stefan just crooning Brian McKnight, putting me to tears, was ready to do a reaction video if I got more than one sentence from him. Jefferson too, just murdering, and we're just getting little snippets. And then Alessandra, she wasn't someone I was dying to hear more of, but then when they played Nutsa, she was entertaining, very sweet, and I liked her audition, I liked the experience, but I don't think she's as good as any of the other singers, especially Jefferson and Stefan. The J-Lo from Georgia, the I'm from Georgia, Me Too, Go Dogs, Go Dawns, that stuff's just too good not to put in. So I understand why they used her audition as a feature, because oh my gosh, when she said Go Dawns, oh my gosh, about lost my mind. That's so funny, and it's totally real and authentic. Speaking of her voice, I'm with Katie and probably with you guys and the judges that she has a good voice in there, but it's just turned up too much. She was hitting some high difficulty stuff and nailing it, and then missing some layups and not giving notes enough tension and energy, and so they were falling flat. Those things, if she really focused, she could be a monster singer, but I think that's more of a habitual thing of thinking about really giving it to us, the runs and the tone and the growl and all the rasp and all the stuff, and just loud and volume and performance, that sometimes the pitch and little layups are afterthoughts, so vocally they sound like afterthoughts. If she can get those tightened up, we might be sitting on just the sleeping giant. Okay, another gimmick. The gimmicks were funny. The gimmicks were funny this episode. Like the Luke, the mullet Brian. Oh my gosh, that was funny. And it was funny because a number of reasons, but one, you could tell that wasn't, I don't think that was scripted. If it was, they did a really good job. It seemed like Katie genuinely just lost her, I don't know what that is, extension, those are extensions, question mark. And then he took them and just went with it and was being funny. And then they just improv that whole thing, which was why it's so funny. And I thought it was hysterical. I really enjoyed that. A lot of the gimmicks were really funny. Lastly, we have Trey Lewis. Trey from Santa Fe. This dude was hypnotizing. Just put his hands in his pockets, kind of looking down, like, don't mind me. I'm just gonna rip your heart out with my voice, like just come up and just sing these gorgeous phrases and then come back down. And it felt so real. And I underline and highlight and embolden everything that Luke said about singing from the right spot, sing from the perfect spot. That's exactly the right way to say it. He does sound extremely similar to Chris Stapleton. First time he started singing, I was like, that's Chris Stapleton. Exactly the same voice. And then I got over it and was fine with it. Could that be a hindrance? Maybe. Maybe it won't be. Maybe like I forgot about it midway through the song, we'll just forget about it and just deal with it, and then it's going to be fine. Here in the show, we have quite the moment where Trey shares that he was in Santa Fe in a school where there was a gunman that shot up a school, and he lost 8 of his friends, fellow classmates, and 2 of his teachers. And we got to see Katie in a very, very raw, authentic, emotional place literally burst into tears and without any filter just let us in on how the emotion hits a mother, hits her, and just came out when she's faced with a victim of that violence, of that terror. I want us to be very, very, very careful that we don't miss this moment because some of our political triggers got nudged and we just cross our arms and say, oh, well, they're trying to make a political statement. Let's remember what was actually said. You shouldn't have to lose 8 friends to want to be on American Idol. You should be on American Idol because you love to sing. This shouldn't happen. We need to change. All things that are absolutely objective. So I just want to make sure we're all taking that in as a genuine, authentic moment of the human heart juxtaposed to such murderous tragedy, and that we don't dare slip our own little offense in because it might sound like it's a political statement. Let's not do that, okay? I won't, promise you won't. Let's just take it as something to unify us that we can all agree on. We don't want that to happen. Obviously, to no one's surprise, he made it through with flying colors. What a sweet guy, too. The way he handled that and responded, he's like, he said something like, I'll represent like those kids and myself and Santa Fe and you, Katie. That was so sweet. He makes it through, as he should. We have a lot of country singers, got a lot of country boys, authentic country boys. I think American Idol's like, okay, we get it. America, we hear you. We know what you like. Here's a bunch more. Also, there's the point that when they see someone like Noah, who's an authentic country boy, sing and crush it, it's going to bring out all the other country boys that are like, I can do that. And so they're going to come out. And we got a lot of good ones, even in the first 2 episodes. Be interesting to see if country music takes another step in the territory that is American Idol, the empire that country music is becoming in this reality TV show. These videos come out every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. The reason I say that, because you might be thinking, well, I just watch it whenever I want to watch it. If you watch it when it comes out, it's what's called a premiere. And I'm actually in the chat. Everyone who's watching is in the chat. We can just share everything we think and talk. And it's a lot of fun. It helps me get a jump on views too, which is all about the algorithms and things. It's a good time. You should try it. I make the time, 6 o'clock, where I feel like everybody could hit that time, Central Time anyway. One perk that you could do to make this experience even better is become a member. I got a lot of comments like, how do I do it? You have to be on your computer, and you can find the join button next, like down to the right of your screen. Now, what members get is a live stream of me watching the show, and then in commercials, we just talk it through. And you're part of the Groove Crew, and I guarantee, as I'm saying this, if you're in the premiere, you're seeing a lot of Groove Crew like Jilly Bear and Paul and 50,000 others, Whale Thumbs, all the homies in there talking it up. It's a lot of fun. I think it's $5, $4.99 per month. Helps the channel, helps me a lot. Also, if you notice, you don't have to watch any ads when you click on this. It just goes straight to the video. That's because our members make that happen. That's how I'm monetizing, not ads, because gosh, I hate freaking YouTube ads. Next week, we've got more auditions, and I'll see you then.